Hi, my name is Rossano Sportiello. I would like to talk to you about a song study. In other words, I would like to share with you my experience on what I do when I need to learn a new song. You see, many times students ask me, I have troubles to memorize. Well, the first tool that you can use to improve the way to memorize a song is to analyze the tune. You see, most of the times we deal with tunes based on a structure of 32 bars, and these 32 bars very often can be divided into segments of 8 bars each. So the most popular structure, I would like to say, is the so-called AABA, for example. So where you have 8 bars, then they are repeated, then you have a bridge for other 8 bars, and then the last 8 bars of the song, it repeats, like at the beginning. Now, this already means that really what you have to memorize is not 32 bars, but only 16. Because of the nature of these parts, A, B, and then A. So that already makes a difference. You see, I've seen many times students repeating a song over and over again, and thinking that eventually it would get stuck in the brain, But all it does, it gets stuck in the fingers. Muscle memory, but you didn't really learn the song, the tune. So the first thing, we should try to memorize the chord structure. So let's consider a tune, an easy tune, like Exactly Like You, for example. If you look at the piece, well, you've got 2 measures of tonic. Then it goes to the 2 dominant for other 2 measures. So we have 4 bars now memorized. So if we are in C, 2 bars of C major, 2 bars of D7. And then we've got the dominant, G7, back to tonic. So 2 bars of C major, 2 bars of D7, 2 bars of G7, the dominant, and then back to tonic. We got 8 bars. And so this way we already worked out the harmonic structure of 75% of the song, because I repeat, it's A, another 8 bars, B, A. Now, there are actually, when you get to G7, if you want, you can use the G7 and then C sharp diminished as a passing chord, back to G7 with the 5th in the bass, G7, tonic. You see? So I repeat this, 2 beats of G7, 2 beats of C sharp diminished, 2 beats of G7 with the D in the bass, the 5th, G7 actual with the tonic in the bass, and tonic. That's it. Regarding the melody, we should also analyze the intervals of the melody, because by doing so, then it makes it easier to transpose in other keys. Now, for example, you should be aware that the melody starts from the 3rd. So C major, the 3rd is E. And what the composer does, he uses an interval of a 4th. So E to B, and then the same structure, a step down, and then stops on the tonic. So 4th from the E natural, the same thing, 1 step down, tonic. And so this works on a C major chord. Then he uses the same phrase on the D7th, the 2 dominant. You see? And the phrase works on the D7th because actually these melody notes are all notes that work on a D7 chord, because we have the E that is on D7th is the 9th, B is the 13th, D is the tonic, A is the 5th, and C is the 7th. So these are all notes compatible with D7. Then we switch to the dominant G7, and the same thing. He uses the same structure. He starts from the 3rd of G7, B natural, down a 4th, then another 4th, and then the tonic of G7. Exactly like you. You see? So you can actually notice how smart was the composer building this melody in a very rational way and beautiful, going through those chords and developing a building block, the interval of a 4th. All right, so then we go to the bridge. Now, we have to say a little bit of something about the fact that as jazz musicians, sometimes we play songs using certain chords that sometimes are not necessarily the original chords of the song. So in this case, I have to say that in this bridge, jazz musicians normally, they start from the 4, so F major, and then they use the 4 minor and tonic. And then they repeat the same thing, 4, 4 minor, tonic with the turnaround. So you can use the 3, 6 dominant, 2, 5 to close the bridge. But actually the chords, the original chords are much nicer. So I did 4 to 4 minor to the tonic with the 3rd in the bass. And then I go to the 6 minor, G sharp diminished as a passing chord, 6 minor, D minor, the 2nd minor, 4 minor, A7, D7 to G7, and back to the last 8 bars. So this is very important what I'm going to say, because I think that the best study of a song that we can do is, for example, first thing is to fall in love with the interpretation of that song by someone else. Because when we fall in love with the interpretation of a great artist that performs that tune, then we have a strong motivation to learn it. And to succeed in learning, we gotta have motivation, passion. Otherwise, it won't happen, you know. So we can start kind of by ear learn that melody. Most of the repertoire that I play, I learned it by ear, by listening to great records. But that's not enough. Would be nice to get hold of the original lead sheet of the song, to see exactly note by note how the melody was composed and conceived at the beginning. And then it's yourself, because you have now the original lead sheet a nice performance of a great artist that you want to maybe emulate, but then still you can find a way to put in there something of your own. For example, chord substitution. Now, that's another subject, chord substitutions. It would take many hours to explain how to apply this, but I bet many of you already know how to do chord substitutions and so on. And that's all, you know. So we said analysis of the harmonic structure, analysis of the structure of the song itself, 32 bars, A, B, A, or sometimes you can have A, B, or A, B, A, C, you know. Then the analysis of the melody itself, so that you are perfectly aware of the intervals that the melody is based on. And that's it, you know. All this procedure will help you very much to assimilate the song way faster than just keep repeating the song over and over again. So I hope you enjoyed that. Last thing I would like to say is that as jazz musicians, we should try to learn as many tunes as possible and retain them by heart. Study as many songs as possible, learn how to transpose them, at least in the most common keys, and keep on playing. All right? Thank you very much. Stay well.